台地面的高低。Please mind the gap and be aware of the difference in level.
Anytime she goes L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one. I thought my heart was safe. Thought I knew the score, but this is wine. It's all too straight and strong and filled with foolish. Thank